Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Serving home cooking, Jack's Barcelona Drive-In, 8249 First Street, Westfield. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner by beautiful Lake Erie in a summer cottage atmosphere with local wines and beers available. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Well, fine. Good morning to you. I would like to say it's beautiful out. It is beautiful out if you like a soggy Saturday morning. I don't know about you guys, but we've been talking about this the last few months. We had spring in February, we had winter in March, we got fall in May. I'm not sure what's going on with the seasons here, but spring has sprung and we got some great flowers out, and at my house it's just like crazy flowers. The apple trees, the pear trees, everything. It's just great. We've got a little soggy weather today, but it'll shape up nice. Well, I hope you're having a great week and a fine weekend already. I want to remind you that you are watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm still Doc Hamels, and I think this is like show 98 or something like that. We're getting old. This is great, and we want to thank all of you for tuning in, and our underwriters that you just saw a little bit ago that support the show here. I want to remind you also that this is a call-in show. If you have something you want to talk about, if you want to share an event, there's the information right there. You can email us. You can call us 753-5225. I got this iPad right here. They'll Twitter me and let me know that what your question is. You can call in and we'll put you on live. And you hear Linda Spalding very often, and she's not afraid. So it's a lot of fun, and we encourage you to share your information. So if you don't want to call in and you have an event, you can email it. And as you know, we've got lots of stuff to talk about every week, and it's been working great. We've been hearing from people from all over the county, and as you know, I usually cite where we're talking, whether it's at Brockton or we're over to Jamestown, to Findlay Lake, Sherman, and so forth, and we're going to bounce around again this morning with the information. So it's free of charge. We're happy to do it, and then we'll put that on our community bulletin board that kind of flips when I'm not on the air or all the other shows, okay? Let's see. I've got just a few other things I want to go over. For those of you that are listening to me on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. And we want to welcome you to the show as well. There we go. I was listening to CNN the other day, and I realized that they have their radio version of their TV show, and they'll say, well, we're going to show you this video, and I'm sitting in the car looking, thinking, this must be what it's like to be listening to WRFA when I'm on the air, because we pop up pictures all the time, and you can't see us. But anyways, I want to welcome our listeners over in the Jamestown, Bemis, Asheville area. I don't even know where y'all go, but it's a lot of fun, and we're so happy to be connected with you. So I'm going to get right to our announcements. And we got a bunch of stuff to share. We got some slides, so let's see where we start. All right, today is May 14th, according to my information, right? So let's go to Ripley, New York. Right now, as we speak, Ripley, New York is hosting a color explosion as means to promote a healthy, positive community. Ripley Central School will be hosting a non-competitive 5K for all ages, followed by a chicken barbecue supporting the Chautauqua Lake baseball team. That's happening like right now. So you say, should I watch Hamels or should I go to Ripley? Go to Ripley, and you can watch me on YouTube later. Tickets are $10 for the barbecue, and prices vary for the color run. Well, don't worry about the website. That's too late now. So anyways, they're having this thing going on right now. So head over to Ripley. The rain won't bother you because you're going to get sprayed with all this color anyways. That'll be a lot of fun. All right, today, Westfield Mayville Rotary Club, my home club. Today's the day, folks, to get those wallets out, get those checkbooks ready. They even take credit cards. Go to the annual Rotary auction. All the proceeds go to help our community with all kinds of projects. We send kids to camp, food pantries, scholarships, and on and on and on and on. It's going to be held today, starting at 5 o'clock at Easton Hall. So for $10, you get your chicken barbecue. You get a chance to win some prizes there. They got some like door prizes and stuff. And then you can bid on various things. Dave Brown is going to be there. I've looked at the list of prizes that you can win. They are things like sports memorabilia. You can there's weekend packages like to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, one of my favorite places in the whole wide world. I think there's a week vacation in Florida. There's coins. There's beauty products, golf packages. Father's Day's coming up, ladies. So there's lots of good things. So Dave Brown will be the auctioneer. Dave is a riot. He's very entertaining. And yours truly is his sidekick. So between the two of us, we'll be announcing and running the auction. So come on out. It's a lot of fun. That's right there at Easton Hall, 23 Elm Street in Westfield. Okay. I love spell check because no matter what you put in there, it decides to change it for you. So this is the Climber Tulip Festival, but if you saw what I'm reading, it says Climber, like C-L-I-M-B-E-R, Climber Tulip Festival. So Climber, New York, this is coming up next week, May 20th and 21st. Let me give you some highlights. On Friday, there's a Chautauqua Produce auction. This says action. I have to edit my own notes here. There's a May Day on the front lawn at the school. There's a taco and sundae bar in the cafeteria, and they're going to be crowning the Tulip and Princess Queen. That should be a lot of fun. Let's see. Saturday, you got the Wooden Shoe 5K. Randy, yes or no?
I wanna.
You don't wanna?
I do.
You do wanna. So it's a 5K wooden shoe. I guess you gotta be Dutch for that one. Climber French Creek Library book sale, crafts, vendors, a foul shooting, 3-point contest, child ID program. I'm sure that's with the Masonic group. Antique tractor displays, car show. There's gonna be some music, a barbecue, variety show, student performance center, grand parade follows the street scrubbing. That's hard to say. At 2:30, street scrubbing. I think that's part of the whole thing. So anyways, sounds like a lot of fun. Go to the Climber Tulip Festival next weekend. If you're just checking into Chautauqua County or you're new to the area, there's something going on all the time here, like all the time. So listen to the show every week and we'll let you know what's going on. All right, this next one. I'm trying to figure out what this is. Jewelry making class. I don't even know where this is. This is a new one. Wednesday, May 25th, 6:30 to 9:30. Learn to make 5 beautiful rings. Beginners are welcome. And Jeff, I can't read this. Where is this? Do you know? All right, well, if you're interested, the phone number must be in Mayville, 753-6977. So, guys, there you have that, and maybe we'll get more information on that. Oh, it says the center. What is that, I wonder?
The Rural Center.
The Rural Center. Oh, the Rural Center. That's over in Sherman. I'm almost positive. Okay? All right, so we'll try to get you a little more on that. Then we got something else going on here. Gentlemen's Swap Meet. That's coming up next. This is new. I haven't seen this one before. June 11th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Old Sherman Ford Garage in Sherman, New York. All proceeds go to the Youth Summer Program for the Rural Center. Oh, yeah. So jewelry making's at the Rural Center in Sherman. That makes sense. To register... Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Okay. You got to register at Woods Power Sports or 7 a.m. on the day of the Gentleman's Swap Meet. Same day at Sherman Yard Sales. Cars, motorcycles, mowers, etc., $10 each for registration upon sale. I'm not sure. Food will be available for purchase. Okay, so go to the Napa store and you would register in Woods Power Sports, and that's where they're registering. Oh, I see what it says here. It's a little mixed up here. You get, for $15, you get a 12 by 12 swap area. So this is like a big flea market type thing. Gotcha. All right. So, anyways, so that's another fundraiser. There you go. There's your slide for that. So that's coming up June 11th. Then we have a page and a half of announcements here from my good friends at Infinity. So here we go. Hang on, everybody. Spring is in the air, and students of the Infinity Visual and Performing Arts Center have been working since October to prepare for this year's annual Spring Showcase. Sponsored by the Schultz Auto Group, the Infinity Spring Showcase will take place next week, May 21, at the Jamestown High School Auditorium. Students will be putting on two performances, a matinee performance at 2 p.m. and an encore performance at 7 p.m. In addition to great performances, by our area youth, Infinity will be offering the chance to win one of 3 gift baskets. That's always fun. This year's prizes include a $150 cash basket? Cash? $150 in cash, $300 in, I don't write this stuff, $300 in gift certificates to area restaurants, that's always a good one, or a $300 value grab bag basket filled with items from around Chautauqua County. Tickets are $5 each or 4 for just $10. Can be purchased at the Infinity Center, online, or from any Infinity board members. The Spring Showcase is a well-rounded evening of student performers featuring various music ensembles and soloists, as well as dance and theater performances. You will be amazed at the amount of talent displayed on the stage and the amount of hard work the students put into this event. Okay, the cost to attend the Spring Showcase is $10 for adults, $7 pre-sale. Children under 18 are free. Tickets can be purchased in advance from the Infinity Center located at 301 East 2nd Street, Suite 101, Jamestown, or you go online, Infinity Performing Arts, that's all one word, .org. Also, tickets will be available at the Charmin Theater. No, we're getting updates as we speak. Scratch that, that's what it says. Okay. Okay. Jamestown High School Auditorium. I have my source right next to me here. Then, in other information, Infinity knows how to use us here. And that's the way it should be. Infinity Visual Performing Arts is inviting local bands and musicians to participate in their 13th annual Local Music Showcase. I think this will be my 5th, so I think. Local Music Showcase is an annual event that raises funds to support music and arts instruction at the Infinity Center. The fundraiser, which is held throughout downtown Jamestown, will take place on Saturday, September 10th. Listen to this now, guys. Nearly 50 local bands and musicians donate their time each year to help Infinity. Paul McCartney couldn't make it, so I will be at the pub sometime that evening. So anyways, more than a dozen local venues will donate their space for the cause. Interested bands or musicians are asked to fill out a short informational form, which can be obtained by stopping in at the Infinity Center or sending an email to lms@infinityperformingarts, all one word, .org. All acts must submit their forms no later than July 1 in order to be considered for this year's schedule. So let me tell you a little bit about this. You pay one fee, like $10. I have my source right next to me.
Sale is 10, 15 the night of.
$10 at pre-sale, $15 that night. And you can go wherever you want throughout Jamestown with all these different venues. And there's great, great local talent. And it's a great night for fun. If you want country music, you go see the country guys. If you want to hear heavy rock, you go see the heavy rock guys. If you want to see young budding musicians, you can go check them out. If you want to see me, you can see me and Will Russell. We'll be playing at the pub. It's just an incredible night. And like I say, I've done it for a number of years now. And it's always fun for the musicians because we get to see each other because most of the time you're out playing and you don't have a chance to see each other. So lots of fun. Again, that's coming up on September 10th. Then, if you're interested in learning more about Infinity or signing up for lessons, a new student orientation will be held on Thursday, May 19th at the Infinity Center. Orientation slots will fill quickly. Please contact the Infinity Center for available times. Now, I got two more announcements and then I'm done. From the Rural Center in Sherman, New York. They get this figured out. They know how we can help them. Wednesday at 10 a.m. and Friday 1 p.m. for a Eat Smart, Live Strong class. All welcome to participate, from homeschooling youth looking for credit in health, stay-at-home moms looking for easy, fun, healthy meals, and the elderly looking to get out and try new cooking ideas. Randall, that's you, buddy. No? All right. We are also offering light yoga on Fridays as well. I wonder what light yoga is, like less than 500 calories or something? Anyways, the Rural Center is doing some really cool things out there. So on Wednesdays at 10 and Fridays at 1, you can check that out. And then, just breaking news here, coming in the mail today, my buddies over at Crossroads Markets out in Westfield there, they want you to know, I gotta look where I am on my calendar here. Memorial Day weekend is a county-wide yard sale, free setup. If you're interested in going there, call 326-6278 for more information. All items for sale must be flea market yard sale quality. No new merchandise, original artwork, or crafts allowed. There'll be a chicken barbecue presented by the Brockton American Legion 434. Proceeds fund the Legion community activities. And I got a whole calendar of stuff, so we'll be announcing those things as we go throughout the spring and summer. I got to take a break. I'm just about winded here. So just public service announcements for you, and then we're going to get right to our show. So stick around. Don't go anywhere.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
And we're back. I'm still Doc Hamels, and you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise here on Access 5. I have a returning guest who is just a joy to be with, and we've been talking between breaks and before the show, and she's the reason why I talk a lot before my guests come on. I want to welcome once again the Executive Director of Infinity Visual and Performing Arts. Did I say that right?
You did, absolutely.
All right,
yeah.
Shane Hawkins, welcome back, Shane.
Nice to be here.
So how did I do? Did I do the announcing pretty well?
Terrific. I think we need to whittle down our PSAs, though. It's a lot of information.
A lot of information.
Yeah, we do
but
a
you know
lot of
what? The show is multi-generational. So you heard announcements from anywhere for senior citizens to young kids to fundraisers to whatever. And that's what the show's all about.
It's community.
Yeah, it's our community, and that's really one of the missions of the show. So Shane, you've come back, and we didn't scare you off. And I was looking at the schedule. You were here August of 2014. Mm-hmm. Wow, a lot's happened since then, huh?
Yes, quite a bit.
So before we get to that, Shane, tell me a little bit about yourself and your family, and then we'll get into Infinity, because I know people that are listening will want to hear all about this stuff.
Oh boy.
Well, you got a cool life. I mean, not everybody.
Oh, you were
gets to do
asking
what
about Infinity, not me.
Well, we're going to talk about you first.
Well, I have 3 kids.
Okay.
Been married for 25 years this
Okay.
year, so pretty deep roots. I like deep roots.
Are you from the area originally?
Since age 10, so moved around a lot before then, but since age 10 I've grew up in Jamestown, went to Jamestown
Okay.
High School, and Went to JCC in Fredonia, started a family, and wanted to raise my family here in
Okay.
Chautauqua County. So
So it sounds like the perfect route to becoming the executive director
No.
of a huge performing and visual arts center.
that happened by accident. I worked at a veterinary hospital for 17 years before I started.
Oh, so
Yeah.
there's the veterinary connection for Ryan.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do like animals in our house. So did that for while I was raising my kids, worked from home doing accounts receivable, so not too much with the animals actually, but then found Infinity for my kids. I'm not a musician, my husband's not a musician, so we wanted to expose our kids to music lessons and see what happened, and worked pretty well. We were amazed, I'm still amazed, you know, coming from not a musical background for kids to be that proficient just from music lessons and mentorship, really. So I started volunteering and just kind of stayed.
Okay, and so
Yeah.
kind of moved up to the ranks.
Yeah.
You know, you're being very humble. This is okay to boast a little bit here. I know your kids are very talented because I've met all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was sitting in a circle one day, and I think it was your two youngest were. This was probably like 4 or 5 years ago, so they were still, you know, relatively young. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it was your son said, "Well, I play like 17 instruments," and your daughter said, "I play like."
That's the benefit of
16."
Infinity, yeah. They
But-
can try everything.
But tell us about your oldest son, because you were just sharing that. This is really cool.
It is a cool story. He, you know, started at 10 at Infinity and took every lesson that he could fit into his schedule, and that was really all he was focused on. So he met one of our mentors at Infinity, Mark Alpa, and Mark had been to Berklee College of Music. So Cale set his sights on Berklee, and that was when he was 10 years old. And he stayed true to that and did end up going to Berklee and graduated at 19 with his bachelor's degree.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, he could test out of so much. He took so many classes in harmonizing at Infinity and music theory, and just learned so many parts of the music industry and the music business and technical aspects of music. So he saved himself and us a lot of money
Yeah.
by being able to test out of so much, and had so much experience walking in.
So give us a little flavor of what Cal's been doing, because every once in a while on Facebook I see you'll post some places where he's been, but this is so cool.
He got picked up by Nikki Yanofsky when he was fresh out of college, so he was still very young. And she's a Quincy Jones artist, so they had a lot of backing and a lot of investors that sent them all over the world. He was in 4 continents performing
Oh
for
my
her.
gosh.
And so he's still her musical director and pianist, but she's
How
writing.
old is Cal?
He's 23 right now.
He's a music director.
Yeah.
For at 23.
Of her band, yeah. So she's writing an album right now, so they're not touring, but he got picked up then by the Blues Brothers.
The
so
Blues
that's what
Brothers.
he's been doing.
Now,
yeah.
what's his main instrument? Keyboard, I think? No?
He prefers guitar, but keyboard is where the
Because I always
jobs
see him
are.
pictured at a...
Yeah, keyboard is where the jobs are. You know,
Right.
there's lots of guitarists in the.
Yes, there are.
Everybody wants to be, you know, the guitar god and all of that. So.
Right, that's why I play bouzouki.
Yeah, right, yeah. But yeah, he went to Berklee for piano because
Okay.
it was easier to audition
Okay.
for piano.
So he sounds very talented. So,
He's
and you don't know
happy
where
to.
this came from. So nobody,
It's
parents.
Infinity, I'll tell you. It's all Infinity. Yeah,
Okay.
it certainly wasn't
All right.
us.
So there's child 1, child 2.
She was very musical and released an album with Haley Addison Moon, who you've had on the show
Yes,
before. They were a duo that met at Infinity.
Simba.
Simba,
Yeah,
yes.
everybody knows Simba.
Yeah, they've been playing. They played for several years locally, and you know they met. They weren't from the same schools, and they became very good friends, which happens a lot at Infinity. Kids meet from other schools, and they form these partnerships and bands, and so they did release an album their senior year, and both went away to college. And Ryan didn't follow the musical path. Then she went into veterinary medicine, and she just graduated in March with a technician degree.
Awesome.
So, yeah, so
So-
she's out and working
So
already.
two down. Two.
Under 20 and both working, yeah.
A good friend of mine, when I used to say, how's your family or how your daughters, he looked at me, he never said good or bad, he said working. They have
Yeah,
jobs.
They have jobs, yeah. Jobs are good.
Yeah, the jobs
so-
are very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now is she still playing music?
Yeah, she actually formed a band when she came. She's living with us right now because she's working in Erie and just trying to figure out the student loan
No, wait a
payment.
minute. Don't tell me it's the Mighty Little or Little Mighty.
Mighty
or-
Little is the
Mighty
band,
Little.
yeah.
I have them on Facebook. I like them. And,
Yeah.
my old sound tech, Josh Reuters, is
Yes, Josh.
Yes,
yeah.
I know Josh.
He's one of the guitar players.
Yeah,
So
good.
some of them are Infinity kids. Some are kids that are not from Infinity. Well, they're all adults now. I shouldn't call them kids. But they formed this band just to get back into music because she really didn't do a lot when she was in college.
Right.
So
Well,
they're out gigging. Yeah.
Good. All right, there's 2 down. And number 3?
He's 14.
14.
So,
oh my gosh, he was
not
just this
going
little
away.
peanut last time I saw
know,
him.
He's still, well, he's taller than me, but very musical, but I'm not sure if he's going to follow that path. But it's the confidence and the empowerment that Infinity, the mentorship, gives to kids that really is just fuel to whatever fire they have. And it's like magic.
So you not only are you the executive director today, but you also, your kids were consumers, they were students, they
Yeah.
were part of the system. But how long has Infinity been around? I'm not even sure.
1998, and Ron Graham formed Infinity with a
Right.
small group of parents and a small group of talented kids that they wanted to give mentorship to, really take the idea of musicians in the community helping younger musicians.
I remember reading in the paper, because being a musician, you see things in the paper and it catches your eye quickly. But I always remember Ron would be in the paper, and this would be this little group, and they would call it this is Infinity, and
Yes.
it was like 5 or 6 kids playing together.
Yep.
And that was what Infinity was sort of like at
Right.
the beginning.
Sure.
So let's say we take a handful of kids, and now where are you at?
We have 350 taking weekly private lessons, so they're all
350
matched.
kids?
Yeah, they come into the facility every
See,
week. So
the power of TV.
it's crazy.
Last
yeah.
year you told me it was only like 15 kids, and now you're up to 300.
Started with 7 kids in 1998.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
But all of those kids are matched with a private lesson mentor, so they work with that mentor every week individually, and then we also have group lessons that are available to all of our private lesson kids. So we have 185 taking group lessons every week.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's
We've
grown.
announced the number of the instructors. They come and go. And
Yep. Well, it's a part-time gig, so it's,
you can't.
some stay for years and years and years.
Sure.
Longer than I've been there.
Sure. But I'm trying to figure where I want to start. Let's start with the kids.
Yes.
Okay. For instance, one day I sat down and my buddy Braley,
Pat Lackner,
he was trying out instruments, and his mom was sitting there kind of like, I hope he doesn't do the tuba. I'm making this up, but I mean, I remember she was saying, I hope he finds something small, and he picked up the mandolin, and I'm a mandolin
Yes.
player too, and I said, good choice, man.
Yeah,
And in fact, somewhere along the line, there's a picture of me and Braley at Infinity playing together. We did something, I forgot what it was.
Maybe a hootenanny.
Yeah, it was one of the Hootenannies. And I've been watching him come up through. But the point is how does a kid know what they want to do? I mean, you got all these choices, woodwind, string, percussion, and so forth. So how's that work?
They try what they are most interested in. You start with one usually, and then they can switch whenever they like. We ask them to keep a whole month of one instrument. And some kids, like Braley, they're musicians, collectors. They like to try and learn about a lot of different musical instruments. He's in one of our blues bands right now,
Okay.
so he's performing in an ensemble, and he's really young, so we're always excited when a student is that interested in music and young enough that we know they're going to be there a while. So, yeah.
So let's say I had a child, and which I do, but they're all adults now, so I don't have children anymore. All right, let's go to my granddaughter. Let's say my granddaughter wanted to participate. Does she need to have an instrument?
It depends. We have pianos and drum sets, of course, in the facility. If she has an interest in guitar, it's better if she has a guitar.
Right.
But
Fits her
if-
hand and things like that.
Well, and to practice at home. We want them to practice at home.
The
so-
practice is one of those funny
Yes,
things.
we tend to encourage that. But we do have an instrument loan program, so specifically for our scholarship kids, if they don't have the financial resources to have a guitar or a keyboard at home, we do write a lot of grants to make sure that we have enough on hand that we can let them go home with an instrument, and then they get a care sheet and there's responsibility involved. But,
absolutely.
then
Yeah.
they return it at the end of the program year, and hopefully they practiced at home with it.
Yeah, really. And people say, well, why in the world would you want to do music? To me, it's been a lifelong pleasure. You know, you can pick up a guitar and just start singing somewhere. I mean, you can't. Piano's nice, but most people just don't carry a
Sure,
piano in
right,
their
not on your
pocket.
back, yeah.
So, but it's nice to have the ability to play music. I thought maybe we'd get right now to some pictures, because I think this really speaks really loudly of what's going on at Infinity. So, Jeff, if we could just go one picture at a time, and we'll try to describe for those of you that are listening on the radio. Right now, I'm sitting and I'm looking at a young man who looks like a mandolin, A-type, I might add, and she's got an F-style mandolin that looks like the student. I'm assuming she's the student. So what's going on here?
She is the student. That's Alex, and she takes a couple lessons and is at Infinity every week. The teacher is Jeremy Bunce, who he's got a great story. He was an Infinity student. So he was a student for many, many years, went away and did adult things, and then came back and said, in the area, and I believe in the program. I know what it can do for people, and I want to be a part of it. So he works almost full time at this point because he's our he teaches so many different instruments, but then he's also our equipment manager and inventory manager who advises me on what do we need to write grants for and all of that.
How do you pick the instructors? I mean, somebody could walk and say, I play guitar, or I play piano. I mean, do you have to put them through their paces, or how's that work?
We do. It's an audition process.
Really?
We have to audition for our director of instruction, who is a master's degree musician.
Who's that?
That's Sarah Marchitelli.
Oh, I know
you've
Sarah.
met, yeah.
She plays saxophone.
She does.
The
She
little
plays
teeny,
saxophone
little one.
very well. Well,
Yeah.
she plays many different kinds,
Okay.
and she's going on a European tour this summer.
Oh,
so,
man.
really high quality people that are. They believe in the power of music education. So, for her, she's part time with us, close to full time, but it gives her the freedom to go and gig and have her other side of. You have to do more than one thing.
Musicians
sometimes.
want to perform. They just don't want to always just instruct. They want to get out there and show their stuff.
Sure.
All right, let's go to the next picture. See, we'll describe it here.
Dan.
Big smiling face with a looks like acoustic guitar, perhaps with electrical pickup. I can't tell. It looks that style. So what's this about?
This is Dan Gage, and he's one of our. He takes a lot of things at Infinity. He's done theater things. He takes voice lessons. He's taken piano lessons, guitar lessons, and he auditioned for a role in our spring showcase, and he's one of our soloists this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really nice kid. Does quite a bit.
He looks like he could be one of the instructors. I mean, he looks a little bit older. I mean, what's the age group here that you deal with?
We work with all ages, so we have a birth to 5 class that we run, actually.
Birth to
infant
5.
to 5, I guess I should say. But some of the women that come in are, they're in utero.
I just read an article that they were saying that when you sing to your baby, while the baby's still in mama, that they learn to speak music, rhythm.
So much. Yeah, there's a lot of research that goes
That's how I
into
learned
that.
to do Italian cooking.
Really?
My mother was Sicilian.
Right next to the stove, yeah. But then we have kids' private lessons for, it depends on the instrument. So for piano, you can start that pretty early. Violin, you can start pretty early. So we have some 3, 4, 5-year-olds taking those lessons. But for guitar, you really need to have some finger dexterity and some strength in your hands, or it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
So we can, 5, 6, 7.
So where do you top out then?
We have adult lessons, so we don't top out.
We've
You
never
can come
announced
down.
that here. You have adult lessons?
Absolutely, yeah.
In what? All instruments?
It depends on we have to have an instructor willing to teach, of course, and some, only will work with kids, and some will work with adults or any age. So, yeah.
So, okay, next. Oh boy.
This is Alex again. She's popular today.
Yeah. And it looks like they're playing, I'm assuming, small cellos. Is that their cello?
That is her cello, and David Chatterton is the cello instructor that's pictured here, and his master's degree is in cello performance. He's could be a music teacher in the schools, so that's where he's headed. But we grabbed him when he was a senior, just graduating with his master's. So he's been a fantastic addition. Plays violin, viola, and Alex, obviously, since she's been in 2 slides already, she plays multiple instruments.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
The cello is an unbelievable instrument. I don't play it, but I have played with a celloist. And when you put the guitar and the cello
it's
together,
beautiful.
it's hard to explain. It's like they pull the sound out of each other, and it's just really incredible. So, and put a flute in there besides.
We
It's
had
great.
a cello player come and present to our kids, and he told the kids, and I remembered it ever since, is cello is most like the human voice. So that's,
I bet it, yeah.
Yeah.
It can get those real deep, throaty, melody
Right.
things. Very nice. Okay, next one.
Drum lessons.
Oh, this is what everybody should have in their home.
The sound pads.
I'm looking at 2, 4, 6, 8. Looks like 8 drums.
It's a side by side, so the instructor sits at one drum set.
2 sets of drums. Because I believe it or not, I played with a drummer named Bob Kackemeyer, and he had 21 drums he'd show up on stage with.
That
it was incredible. It was a double set.
So this is they can mirror the instructor, and it's a lot easier for kids to learn, some kids, and we have lots of different methods of teaching, but for them to watch the instructor play while they are mirroring the hand movements.
So, for the parents that are listening right now, or grandparents, don't buy your child a drum set quite yet. Have them go to Infinity and try it out.
Try it first.
I don't know how many garage sales I've been by where you see these drum sets sitting there, and there's a hole in the bass drum or whatever, and that's probably a good thought is to have kids try it out before you buy the instrument.
Definitely should try, and then if they stick with it, then you go to a higher quality instrument. But
we've been going through these pictures and want to hold a bit. I want to go back up to a question I have. I haven't been to the new location yet. So I know you were the old DMV building, right? The Department of Motor Vehicles across from the Reginald A Theater, and that was really cool there. But you must have outgrown it if you got 350 kids. So where are you guys now? I always announce it every week. I got to look it up.
We're in the Lynn building. We're in the Lynn building, and
so
that
you're
came
down and
about.
over one.
We're down across from the high school, Jamestown High School.
Okay.
So the building used to be, and still is, I guess, but they have an offshoot post office.
That big, huge.
It's huge. It takes up the whole block.
So you have the whole building?
No. No.
But you like the whole building. I saw that in your eye. Opera's on the way.
Yeah, for sure. No, we have 14,000 square feet on the ground floor, which
14,000 square feet. Oh my
big.
God.
That's a big
that's
place.
7 houses.
It's a nice space, but it's full. A lot of the nights, all of our lesson rooms are full. So we're just seeing how long until we need to expand a little more. It's a huge building, though. So
that's incredible.
And fantastic landlords, just awesome, so good to us.
That's a Lynn Corporation?
Lynn Development Corporation, and they love Infinity, and they love kids.
So do we,
obviously. I know. That's not the
love. You can say you beat me to it. Wow. Okay, let's go to the next picture. I think we still have a few more yet. All right. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, looks like, don't tell me, steel drums, and it looks like a sound system with a bunch of microphones and stuff.
This is one of our band rooms.
Is that Howie's World?
Howie retired.
Oh,
We're
come
so
on.
sad. But we have Preach Freedom now from Rusted Root.
Oh, we announced Preach.
Yes.
I think when you hired him.
He's an astoundingly good percussionist and just has a lot of world experience with different world percussion instruments. So this is right up his alley, and we have steel drums. Those were just tuned last week. We have to bring the guy in from Florida to tune them, so Chautauqua Region Community Foundation helps us with that.
Wow.
So many people in the community just really believe in the mentorship aspect of helping kids, and it's been great. But this is one of our band rooms, so we have singers. There's a drum set to the right that you see just the bass drum of.
Right. So right now I'm looking at all this equipment. Who pays for all this stuff?
We've been collecting since 1998. Ron was a brilliant grant writer and really wrote a lot of grants for equipment. So we started with quite a bit, and then we just continue to write grants. And people donate too. Those kids that played drums for all of 2 minutes, and then the parents.
Please, here, take
we
these.
had one of those donated this year. So.
And my buddy Jim Holler, I know, is a super duper guy.
Jim is amazing. He's like Santa Claus for us. Every month he brings something in. He works with the companies. If there's a damaged, instead of shipping it back, he offers
scratch and dent type thing.
Scratch and dent. He says, I have a place I could take it if you don't want me to ship it back to you. And often Fender and Martin and all these places will say, sure. And he's, I can't say enough about Jim Holler and Trinity Guitars.
Jim works on my instruments. I've known Jim a number of years now. Quite a while. And he's just a classy guy. And he was on the show one day talking all about how guitars are made and stuff like that.
It's amazing.
He's a great guy.
He's good people.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next picture then. All right. This is my world here. Looks like monitor speakers on the floor. Look at that. It's beautiful. I see a lot of artwork in all these pictures too. Amplifiers and drum sets. So this was like a full band set up here to me.
This is our largest band room, so this is where a lot of the rehearsals happen if they're not happening in the cafe where our stage is. But this room also hooks to our digital recording room. So people can record live
Wait a minute,
bands.
digital recording room.
Yeah.
You didn't have that before, did you?
We've always had a recording room, yes. So that was a big part of the other space in the, not in the first, well, I guess we did have it in the first space. It's always been a part of the
I
program.
don't remember seeing it. So this looks
Might
like
have been tucked
This
away.
looks like a professional level recording studio.
It's professional level equipment. Again, we write grants, and people like the Sheldon Foundation
Yeah.
believe in what we're doing and will fund this. And kids can learn how to run this equipment, so when they go to college, they
Mm-hmm.
have a leg up and an edge.
Well, I mentioned Josh Reuters earlier. Josh actually traveled with me in my band a few years ago, and he would set up the sound system, and we
Yeah.
paid him.
Yeah.
So I mean, you
It's
get
a-
paid not to even play a note.
Right.
just make me sound sort of good, Josh.
Yeah.
You know, and but there's people forget that there's people that run sound and lights and all that stuff, and that's a whole business onto itself. Hey, folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and I'm Doc Hamels. My guest today is the Executive Director of Infinity Visual and Performing Arts Center, and Shane Hawkins is with us. And if you have a question or you want to make a comment, or if you or your kids were in Infinity, give us a call. Let us know what you think about the program. Only nice things. All right, let's go on to the next picture. This is good. I heard that, Jeff.
After the steel drums.
Okay. No,
Maybe that was all of them.
No, he told me we still had like 3 more.
Oh, all right.
I think. No, we already saw this one, Jeff.
Ah,
Okay, so now we're looking at, it looks like a small, I'm guessing, room with guitars and a keyboard.
just a small lesson room. You know, we have 16 lesson rooms in the building, so
Wow.
this would be a guitar and piano combination room. Ken Larson's room, I believe.
16 practice rooms.
Yes.
You're like Chautauqua Institution.
Except they're not off in their own little buildings.
So doesn't that get noisy there?
When we built the place, it's like it was actually a bomb shelter, the building. The building has a really cool story, actually. But any walls that we had to build, so there's 6-inch thick concrete walls separating all these rooms. Or if we had to build the room, we made a rock saw, it's called. It's a special kind of insulation, so we insulated all the walls with sound insulation. So we still have some work to do, but it's all through the ceiling and the venting right now is what we're working on.
You started out as a volunteer parent.
Yes.
How did you get so experienced at laying out a building for all this equipment and
Oh,
stuff?
I don't know all of that. I just find good people.
Okay, so you get your
So-
architects and engineers and...
Just find people who are great at what they do and put them in a place to thrive. And that's what we do with the kids, too. You know, show them that they can figure out what they're good at and try a lot of different things until you do, and then put them in a position with the support to thrive. And it's just a great model.
Okay.
I
All right,
don't
we
have
got
to
any
know
more
everything.
pictures? Let's see what else we got here. Oh,
Sarah.
that's Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah Marchitelli is our director of
So
instruction.
we're watching an instructor and a student with flutes. Flutes. Okay.
Yep, and this is another one of the small lesson rooms. So it's very much a one-to-one interaction, and that's a 30-minute lesson every week. Sarah came to me when she was just graduating from Fredonia, and she was a saxophone player, and we didn't really have any saxophone students at that time, so I said, I don't have any students, but I'll set you up with some if we have some come in. She says, well, I can also teach dance. I took Del Crow's Eurythmics as I was growing up. So she started as a dance instructor and built the saxophone program. So now we have 30 or 40 saxophone students, and we have a saxophone ensemble. We have three saxophone instructors now, 3 flute
I think I've seen her
instructors.
picture with the other saxophone players.
Jake Swanson.
You're right,
Yeah.
and the saxophones are bigger than she is.
Yeah.
She's tiny.
She is. She's a dancer. So, but
Tiny
she's
dancer.
been great. Now she's with us. She's been with us for 3 or 4 years,
Right.
and she grew a saxophone program because of her love of the instrument and her talent. And
Wonderful. And that's another wonderful instrument, right along with the cello, is it's just a natural sounding instrument to our ear. It's like you said, the human voice, when you listen to a saxophone, it blends in with, especially the guitar. Also, I played with saxophone players over the years. So, Jeff, we have any more pictures? Okay, let's go. Let's finish them up. Aha, there we go. So we're looking at a young man playing guitar.
yes, and it's a guitar lesson, of course.
He's learning,
so-
it's a C chord.
You'll have to narrate that part because I'm not a guitar player.
He's trying to do the C chord. That's really stretching their fingers. But you're right about young kids when they're first learning to play guitar. They got to have that finger strength, and it can be something where they get turned off real quick. But once they get it, they got it.
Right, and by seeing other kids their same age working on these things or being in a band with students, they really, it's a healthy competition, but they're looking at kids and thinking, I'm going to go home and practice this week so I come back next week and know this. So it's a good fit.
Great. So I think we have one more. Oh my
There's our saxophone
gosh,
ensemble. I know, look at them all.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 7 of them all playing saxophone right now. That's a great shot.
That's Jake on the right.
Yeah, I remember Jake. He's got that red hair.
Yes, and he's a music teacher up in Gowanda. So he comes down and teaches for us once a week and does the saxophone ensemble with Sarah. But I think I mentioned before they're going on European tour, Deco Ensemble, this summer. So, you know, the musicians that we have are not just, oh, I know how to play a musical instrument. They're actually professionals in their field and doing really cool things.
They're not your grandma's piano teacher. They're all lively.
They're serious. They're serious about
musicians.
their instrument. They're serious about music education. They're serious about, you know, helping kids. So we really, we have a pretty strict way of getting people into the building. Audition process, 2 interviews.
Wow. That's great. Well, that's the way it should be. And last picture. Oh,
we do dance
that's
now.
not my world. No. That's I'm hurting just looking at that. Right now, I'm looking at. I'm assuming it's an instructor who looks like she knows what she's doing, and a student that's working at looking like the teacher, doing some ballet, perhaps.
It's a private lesson, so they do a lot of different things. It depends on what the student is interested in. So. They're looking in the mirror, obviously, to look for form, but that's Mariah Melendi and one of her students. And she came on when we really didn't have a dance program, and she's grown the dance program. So now that's what it takes, is somebody being passionate about the art form and have a really strong interest in helping kids. And then kids tell their friends, and the programs grow from there. So.
Okay, we seem to have a lot of pictures about music. We got one on dance. But you do more than that.
We do. We have art, theater, and literature. There's songwriting and composition classes and workshops happening. It's really, we ask the kids. The kids help steer the program quite a bit, and the instructors. If they're interested in taking a watercolor class, we find an instructor that, you know, is ready to teach a watercolor class. So we have 5 art teachers right now, and lots of private lesson art students.
How many staff do you have?
There's 41 instructors, and then I have 8 administrative staff. 6 are full-time and 2 are part-time.
It's bigger than a local school system here. Like, wow.
It's a great group of people. I mean, we've really handpicked all of them, and to fit with our mission, our youth development philosophy that we feel very strongly about and really protective of the kids. So we really want to bring people in who are going to support that philosophy and treat kids the way that we expect them to be treated, with kindness and respect, and also set the bar high. So
set the bar high. That's good. I got a question that just popped up. I don't know where it came from. It was just from Twitter. Is there a push to teach students the promotion of social media and websites? I'm assuming artistic websites.
It's definitely a part of the artistic world now. You really have to have some kind of social media presence if you want to market yourself. So it definitely is part of what we do, and we use social media quite a bit and promote the kids. And then as they're getting older and want to start their own groups, you know, they'll often come and say, how should I do this? And we have lots of lists for kids of how to promote themselves online and really get their name out there, because it really is a digital world now. It's a lot different than when I was growing up. You know, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have the internet when I was up there. So, yeah.
Okay, let's take a different view. Let's go up at 30,000 feet and look down on infinity. And so, where you got people that maybe you're watching that are hunters, that people that are video gurus, that people that say, you know, that's a bunch of frilly stuff. I'm not trying to categorize anybody, but people that just aren't into the arts, okay? You said you didn't grow up in an artistic musical family. My dad didn't play an instrument. He played the radio. My mom
Right.
liked to sing and fiddle around with the piano a little bit, but we never had a piano in the house. And yet, my brother and I, we went into music because of the Beatles, probably, because that was the cool thing to do at the
Right.
time. But, you know, we stuck with it and over the years. So the question I will pose for those that are non-musicians, artists, drama majors or artists is, so what?
We
So
hear that.
what?
We hear that a lot.
So what's the big deal here? You know, we should be teaching more math, more science, more whatever. So what?
I'd like to see the arts used to teach everything, because I think it really, the creativity and the freedom that arts allows, it's the glue that holds all those concepts together. So if you teach a student a mathematical concept by building a geometric figure, or you act out a play to learn something about history, kids remember it more. And I think if people think back to their own childhoods, music and arts were infused a lot more in schools than we have time to do these days. So creative problem solvers are needed in every field, so we're not expecting our 350 weekly students to all become musicians. That's to be musicians lifelong, but not to do that as a career, and that's fine. It's not our goal to make career musicians and artists. We want to unleash that creative aspect of their personality, and then they gain confidence, they gain empowerment, and that is what makes somebody a good employee, when they feel confident about their job, when they are a creative problem solver. Have you ever worked with somebody who couldn't, solve a problem without you telling them how
Yes.
to do it? Yes.
Yes.
It's frustrating, it's inefficient, and it really puts a halt to any growth for the business. So you really do want to hire people who are confident and creative problem solvers, and that takes having an exposure to creativity. So
Is Infinity for everybody?
I believe so, yeah.
So there's something for everybody.
Definitely. I mean, everybody can either draw or learn an instrument. Anybody can learn an instrument. There's even hand drumming that we have severely autistic kids that can really focus on that and make progress in their own lives. So it's, there's such a spectrum of what kids are going to do with what they learn, but the relationships they form, the mentorship, to know that they have this team of people that want to see them succeed, it changes lives.
So if somebody came to Infinity and says, I want to be a rock and roll star and make lots of money.
Yep.
I'm sure you hear that once in a while.
We hear that, yeah.
What do you tell them?
Got to work really hard. It's, and it's a lot of networking, and it's a lot of, not only you have to be technically proficient, but you have to be a decent person. There's so many options for people to hire. You need to be an easy to work with musician, not just a great musician. So there's a lot to it.
Yes, there is. Infinity has a mission and so forth. And I don't know the answer to this, and I'm not trying to set you up with a question that's difficult, but was this ever based on something liturgical, something from a church group? You've talked about some really good values. Where does this all come from?
I think Infinity did start as a gospel group. We've
Okay.
really moved away from any type of a specific religious focus, because we want everybody to feel welcome, and there's people of all walks of life in our community. So kindness and respect are really what we build program on, and what neighborhood you come from, what ethnicity, gender, any of that doesn't play into our decisions. We want to judge people on how they act when they're in the building and how they treat other people. So, I think that they're universal positive values, but they're not tied to any doctrine or anything like
Because
that.
people might be thinking about that, so
Yeah.
I always like to ask those kinds of things. So this sounds like really a great organization. And what does it cost?
It depends on your family situation. If you are, just walking in off the streets, both parents employed, and you're in good shape, it's $60 a month, and that covers a private weekly lesson, and then group lessons also, which vary. We give you a chart of which group lessons you can take, and then we have what's called Go classes, and kids can take as many of those as they like. So music theory is a Go class. We want kids to take that even if they're already taking 2 group classes, things like that. So we change it up all the time. But then
$60 a month follows the school year, or
11 months of the
So
year. We're
11
closed
months.
for the month of September, so kids can get back into school and give us a chance to
Get a
clean the
little focus
facility.
there.
But then we have scholarships. We write grants to local funders and to regional funders that believe in the concept of kids having a chance even if they can't afford it. So they donate money that we then use for kids that can't afford
Super.
the $60. So about 30% of our kids are on scholarship.
And before we get to the showcases, because I don't want to forget them, I have that on my list here. What would stop anybody from coming there? Just distance?
Distance is a factor. We've tried to do some satellite sites. It's hard to get them up and running and find funding. Some of the outlying areas, they don't have what Jamestown has with the 5 big
No,
funders.
right.
So funding can be a little tricky, and sometimes the rural areas, there isn't a lot of discretionary income in the families to...
So
you
is
know.
there any outreach at this point, at this time?
We have after-school programs in quite a few sites. I think we had 9 last year, and we have 7 or 8 this year. So after-school programs,
Oh,
if kids
sure.
are already involved in them, that prevents us
So
then
you
from-
infuse Infinity into their program?
Right,
You're
so we
not
don't have
running
to
the
have
program.
we don't have to have a location, we don't
You
have to
send
have a
some
site
people up. In
coordinator.
fact, I think I did that for you guys, didn't I?
I think you
I think
did.
we were up to Dunkirk one time.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
so we try to, those change every year, and we try, you know, to have as many as we can, expose kids. But it's really boils down to funding, because we do pay our instructors, and we want to make sure that what they're doing is valued also, so we do need to...
Okay, a question popped up, and I'm not sure who asked it, so I'll take it as it was a sincere question. Can you learn music from the internet?
Oh, sure, you can learn. I'm not sure how far you can go. It depends on
Your skill level?
and what sites you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
But we definitely have kids, and some of our instructors will share links with kids.
Good.
You know, here is a great solo, you know, a great guitar solo. You should watch
Check it
this,
out,
or performance. This is a great performance. You can learn a lot from online, for sure.
So it's a tool.
It's a tool. It's not the only tool, because you can't ask the internet a specific question, or can you show me this?
Yeah, nothing like the personal touch.
Yeah.
You talked about fundraising, and you talked about keeping the programs going, and you got 2 showcases coming up. So let's talk about the spring showcase, because that's coming up really quick here.
Next week, yeah.
Ta-ta-ta. So, well, we're only got like 3 minutes left of the show here, so what do you want to
Went
talk
quick.
about? Yeah.
Well, the Spring Showcase is our biggest student show of the year. We do it every year. This is the first year we've been at Jamestown High School, so that's going to be really neat. It has 1,500 seats, and the kids can help run the show. So they're going to be doing, you know, work backstage with the stage tech and all of that, so that's kind of cool. That show is May 21st, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., and tickets right now, if you buy them, are $7 each, or $6 or $12 for both shows if you want to go see the kids twice. And then that day they'll be $10. So
Okay.
we have 90 kids involved in the
So
show.
what kinds of stuff will people see if they go?
We have soloists, handful of soloists, and then
Musicians?
we have musicians.
Okay.
We have a theater group that's going to be doing a medley of 80s songs. So that's
Is Adam still involved?
Adam is the
My
instructor.
big
I
teddy
love
bear
Adam.
buddy.
Yeah, everybody loves Adam. Yeah, he's our glee instructor, and then we also have Teal Weatherly working with him this year, because the group of kids was larger than we've ever had. We have 25 or 30 kids in that group. So, and then we have some dance numbers that Mariah's put together. So it's going to be a great show.
So who provides the music for those other groups? The kids themselves, or is it tape music?
Sometimes it's kids, sometimes it's a mix of kids and instructors. We
Okay.
try to avoid the piped-in music if we can, but
Oh.
sometimes there's, you know, a specific radio song the kids want to dance to. So.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, and then why don't you hit the fall local music showcase? I mentioned it earlier, but maybe you can embellish it more than I did. I tried.
You did a great job. And thank you for participating, by
You're
the way.
welcome. I'm happy to.
It's our 13th year of doing that one, and it's our biggest fundraiser of the year. We try to raise about $10,000 from Local Music Showcase. So all of the sound techs, all of the musicians, all of the venues, they all donate the space and time, and it's about 1,000 people walking around listening to music on one night. Every venue that's participating has live music through the whole night, so it's just a great night in Jamestown. People, the sidewalks are full. It's just a great time.
You're right. It's sort of like the city comes alive and people are out on the streets. I sort
Yeah.
of feel like we're in Greenwich Village.
I know, it's just such a neat
It's kind of
vibe,
weird,
yeah.
isn't it? And
It's great. That's my favorite night of the year. It's
I remember packing up my equipment. I could hear a band down the street, and I could hear other kinds of music coming around the corner, and
Yeah.
the place really comes alive. Now, people might say, well, maybe you're just going to get the local garage band. I mean, how do you determine the groups?
they have to be a local band, or at least have a local tie in some way, and they need to have 45 minutes worth of music to perform. And it's pretty self-policing. People really, they know that it's well publicized, so they're not going to get there in front of all of the local musicians and bomb their set. So we've been really lucky with the amount of talent and the level of talent. So.
We have about 30 seconds left. I'll be quiet. Tell folks anything you want about Infinity before we close.
It's grown quite a bit, and it's, we really care about the kids that are involved and like to see them thrive. So we have this team of 45 people that just surround the kids with whatever they need, and we teach the kids to self-advocate. Tell us what you're interested in, what you want to do, and how can we help you.
And the number they would call is 664-0991.
Correct.
See, I even have it at my fingertips. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and my guest was Shane Hawkins, the Executive Director of Infinity Visual and Performing Arts. And we're going to do it all again next week, right here at Access 5, 9 o'clock next Saturday. I want to thank Shane for being my guest, and I hope you learned a lot about Infinity, because there's so much more than what we talked about even in this last hour. So check them out down in Jamestown on 2nd Street. You all have a good weekend. Get out over to that auction in Westfield tonight. Check out all the other events. Take care. We'll see you next time. That's it.